He looked like he went from Jason Day to Jason Dufner.
Hey y'all, the video you're about to watch was shot about 12 hours before the news officially released of Tiger Woods leaving Nike Golf. We don't know what his future plans are at this point. I think we're going to see that in LA when he plays the Genesis Open and hosts that tournament. That's what he alluded to in his statement. But since then, we've seen a flurry of Nike athletes leaving the golf side of things, and I don't think we've seen the end of that. So it leaves a lot to be determined as to the direction that Nike's going to take its golf division. Are they going to kill it completely? We still have some releases that are upcoming this year. Jordan Golf seems to be thriving with the releases of retros. They're going to focus on the 9 this year. So I'm very interested to see what's going to happen. Are we going to see a complete divestment of golf from Nike as a whole? The apparel side has always lacked. The shoes have come and gone and hit and missed. And depending on who's in charge of the design side, there's been some things that we've loved and some things that we've hated. Sit back, enjoy this clip as we discuss Jason Day primarily leaving Nike Golf for Malbon. Again, another name in that stable of athletes that is departing. Tell us down in the comments what you think the future of Nike Golf is. And if you've been a Nike Golf fan, where are you going to put your attention if they stop producing golf shoes? Are you going to go to FootJoy? Are you going to be an Adidas stan? What about New Balance? They've been coming out with a lot of nice stuff lately. So get down in the comment section, let us know. Enjoy the video. Hey y'all, Bearder Bros Golf Show back for 2024. I am Rod.
And now Marcus.
Let's get into this sponsorship change. You know, it's a new year. You're going to see new logos on hats or a lack of logos on hats. So this week we saw Ricky Fowler in the L hat. I think it was a Puma hat, but I think giving kind of a shout out to Hawaii and the fires that they had last year. So shout out to him. No big changes, but he was missing his Farmers and Rocket Mortgage logos on his apparel this week. And we also saw the change up from Jason Day leaving Nike and going over to Malbon Golf, which I have some snips of his ill-fitting clothes. I'll pull this up here. So the pants, I think I'm gonna freeze it here. So I already don't like the cut of the pants, near the bottom with a lot of slack. It's kind of like when Adam Scott started going with the parachute looking pants a couple of years ago. Just, I don't know. We're not looking at modern cuts, and I get it. Styles change, but this ain't it for me. I'm sorry. And you saw him. There's some fashion type pics that they have, but you saw him on course in the FootJoys. It's very interesting that when people leave certain manufacturers that don't have a brand loyalty, FootJoy does seem to be the brand of choice, which I don't necessarily disagree with. So these are the pants that initially we saw, super baggy, and you can kind of see the kilty type shoes. Malbon's known for their collaborations with other brands, being more of a high end kind of clothing collective. What do you think about this move away from Nike and to Malbon and more of a fashion kick? Come on,
Golly, man.
let's
Like
spit
it's
it out.
cool. It's cool. It's fine. It's actually okay in the sense that older guy now, mid 30s, late 30s, however you want to call it. He's moving more into his dad life. He's more relaxed. He's more, chill feeling. I mean, but the first picture you brought up with the all khaki joint or the cream or whatever you want to call, he looked like he went from Jason Day to Jason Dufner, and that's not in a good way. So, like, I think they need to get, yeah, this is the one. I think they need to get that a little bit more tailored. Just taper that down both ways at the top with the polo and with the jeans and the whatever slacks, how
Yeah.
chino pants, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, but I'm not unopposed to moving to like lifestyle brands. To me, that's like innovative stuff. But Malbon's been around the game, and of course, just like you said, they've been a manufacturer facilitator many a golf season now. So they have the shoe drops and yada yada yada. So it's cool, but
Yeah,
Again,
it's
they
like a
should have been a
name.
little bit more organized. Yeah, exactly.
They don't necessarily produce a lot of their own goods. A lot of their cachet comes from collabs. It's kind of like Supreme on the
Yeah,
hype beast side of things. Is that the collabs are where they've gotten their name, not necessarily products that they've produced on their own. They have a color scheme that they typically stick to: your blues, your greens, your khakis.
yeah.
Just some yellows mixed in there. You're gonna see some colors that you typically see around golf course with a modern spin on it. So we'll see how long this partnership lasts. I mean, we know we'll probably see it through all of this year, and we'll see what other athletes defect from Nike as well. As we had rumors, we did a video when it was starting to come out that Tiger was potentially leaving Nike. We haven't heard more on that since then. There is a guy on Instagram that's been dropping quite a bit of videos about the change. Caught one this morning where he was talking about Nike's focus was to move back to running, and try
Right,
to
because
compete
they're
with
losing
with Hoka
on,
and
yeah,
on Cloud or something. Yeah,
on
so
Forever or something. Yeah,
I get that, but I also don't think that that should preclude them from producing golf shoes. You don't necessarily see them pouring a bunch of money into the marketing side of golf anyway. So I don't know how the manufacturer. I mean, shit. We know that Nike has been under fire forever for producing these shoes at a super cheap cost, right? So, how much are they theoretically losing? Because, I mean, outside of retros, they're not necessarily putting out a bunch of new stuff that's redesigned. You did see, I think, a new shoe that Tommy Fleetwood was spotted wearing. There's a new Infinity Next Percentage, the second, I think the third model of that shoe now. Um, so that looks cool that they've updated that. I also saw some, early releases of this splatter version of the Jordan 1 Low that they're just kind of recreating with the gum bottom. No changes. It's not like a newly developed shoe. So I don't know. I don't have any idea what we're going to see from Nike Golf going forward, or if we're going to see people continuing to scatter, right? So, you look
yeah,
at your prominent people that we can think of: Scotty Scheffler, your Rory McIlroys of the world, that are still big names and with Nike. And I guess we'll just have to see what happens when Tiger next tees it up. He's been pretty, closed mouth about changes in sponsorships. We just showed up with the big monster on the bag years ago and then it disappeared. So I'm sure we'll see something like that, and he'll have to answer questions once that occurs. What do you think about, the future of Nike and Nike Golf?
yeah. I mean, clearly I'm sad. I mean, but I think that they're overthinking it because to me, it's very simple what they should be doing with it as it concerns to like research and development for Nike golf shoes. Because again, I think the apparel was a wash. As soon as they went away from like, I mean, everybody makes a good moisture wicking shirt. That's fine, cool, but you need to. They should have kept. They could have kept being more innovative. Just like as they went to the bladed collar, that was a very sleek look. I think they should have stayed
Mm-hmm.
with that. They should have stopped. They could have continued dropping more renditions of that. You're Nike. You make some of the best jogging tech, Nike tech, whatever you want to call it. Make some cool ass like affordable Nike joggers, golf pants. Get the belt loops in there, get the pockets, and make it a jogger. You're telling me that these Nike fanboys are gonna go running right back to that? Like,
Yeah.
be for real. And then with the running shoes, yes, I get it. You want to get back to the fundamentals of what made you monopoly on the game of not of all things sports and athleticism, whatever you want to call it. But again, as easy as it was to do the research and development for these running shoes, you can implement that into golf. These people are running, and these people are not running, they're walking, but they're walking on this grass, they're walking on these different surfaces. You're telling me you don't know how these different foams and silica react to that stuff as far as it goes with weight transfer, wide footed people, narrow footed people, how that would respond and react in a golf swing. You don't even
Yeah.
have to do any extra outreach as far as spending extra dollars, doing things
Yeah.
like that. You can go to the football field and see how cleats work and which cleats work best. Okay, I'm trying to get this ground force. I need these style of cleats, or I need this style of spike, just for it to ferment into the ground, twist a little bit, get some grabs, but not rip the turf off. Like again, they're just overthinking this because this is
I
very
I think
simple.
I think that they gave up on golf way too early, right? I think that's what
Agreed.
I've been noticing from that guy's post who was in the Nike organization. So he spoke with some, background that they just the efforts were inconsistent. I think for you and I a couple of years ago literally said that the Jordan 12 retro kind of was next level and that they had achieved in that year release year, I think it was
Truly.
2022, the best fit and most consistent. So you can go back and watch some of the videos that I posted from 2022 from a shoe review standpoint that they had achieved a fit that was pretty damn good. I mean,
Yes.
honestly, very much rivaling, your FootJoys of the world. And like you said, there's a lot of technology that they have pioneered over the years, and it doesn't really take a lot to transfer some of that institutional knowledge over to the golf side of things and could have really, other than, the cachet of Nike and that a lot of us grew up wearing Nike, seeing Nike athletes from Jordan to Tiger, but they could have had some legitimate staying power and a product that people kind of flock to. Again, I mentioned it earlier. When people don't have a brand that they are tied down to from a shoe wear perspective, they all navigate towards FootJoy. You see that when
Yeah.
Dustin Johnson left Adidas, he's in FootJoys now, right?
Yep.
We've been seeing Tiger in FootJoys because Nike hasn't been willing to kind of go outside of the box and produce something for him that's both. He's never really been a style icon in terms of the shoes. I think the TW13 is probably the best golf shoe that we've seen directly from Tiger. Outside of that, they were all just very functional. They could have really put some money and consistent effort into the product, but they'd be good one year, trash last year. Like last year's release cycle was pretty much garbage to me. There were so
It was
many
all a
misses.
force. Yeah, it was. Remember how bad? I mean, like, just think about like the master shoes. I mean, oh my God, the Air Max drop they dropped for the Waste Phoenix, the Waste Management, the
Those are
U.S.
horrible.
Open, the PGA. All three of those were bad. The U.S.
Hmm.
Opens were like just. I mean, the Masters were
And
a wash. I mean, all of this was just.
yeah, they just tried to go super creative and it just didn't land. You saw more shoes sitting on shelves. I would go back weeks after she had been released, particularly like you said, that were released around the majors, and they would still be in full stock. And
Yeah,
that's not common. That hadn't been the case. Jordan 12s were selling out like crazy. The really
I was
good
about to say the
colorways of
first
the
year I couldn't even get them.
no, Jordan 1s, really good. And we ended up picking up the Jordan 6s this year, the retros, and they were really good. They were okay. They were okay. I'm not going to say they
Yeah,
were really good. They were okay. But the style, the colorways that they chose for shoes this year, or excuse me, in 2023, we're just really out there and
yeah,
really just dipping into the art side of things. And I get it. There's a lane for that. Clearly, you see Malbon kind of, again, doing some different things, some creative things, but they missed the boat, right? I think we
yeah.
talked about it a couple of weeks ago before we took our break that New Balance is coming on with some heat. And I've seen more people in New Balances in the last month that I have on the golf course in a long time, and they've
Right.
kind of quietly been sneaking up. They've been in on some collabs as well. So I mean, like I said, Nike's missed the boat, and I get it from a business standpoint. People have to go where their bread is buttered, but I don't know. It just feels like had they actually done something with this Nike golf kind of purgatory that we're in right now, didn't have to be this way at all.
Right.
So you,
Anyway,
you get a lot of stuff out of this channel, y'all. A little business knowledge, a little technical golf knowledge, a little BS in here and there. You're in a well-rounded environment. So
absolutely.
uh, hit that subscribe button, hit that membership button. We got you covered on all things golf.